I met my daughter's father when I was 15 years old. I went from feeling completely loved by him to just right back to where I was, feeling like I was just useless, worthless, and just not worthy of anyone's love. 5 years into the relationship, I found that I was pregnant with my daughter. This was one of the scariest moments of my life, and I felt like if I brought her to the world, she's gonna go through the same things that I went through. I knew that I loved her, and after she was born, it was the first time I actually felt like I could love someone and be loved. But depression just had me. The enemy had me. At one point, I thought, maybe I'm better off just leaving her. Shortly after, I started to date someone who I knew from my childhood, so I felt safe again. A few months into the relationship, I found out that there was someone else who was expecting a child from him. And 2 weeks after I found that out, I found that I was pregnant myself. I was told to toughen up and make the right decision, which was to not keep the pregnancy. After it was terminated, I remember just being completely destroyed. This was it. I thought I had felt pain before, but there was no pain or guilt or shame like what I felt when I opened my eyes that day. I started to fear immediately that God was going to take my child. He was going to punish me for it, and he was going to take her away. I started to have suicidal thoughts again, and I had not had them for a long time. I remember falling right to my knees and just saying, God, if you are real, please show yourself to me, because I can't do this anymore, and I'm going to end up taking my own life. In 2015, my cousin relocated down to Bradenton, Florida with his family, and a year later I came to visit them. While I was here on vacation, he invited me to this church that him and his family found. Immediately when I walked in, it was like this experience that to this day is so hard to explain, but just this peace that came over me. And I was fighting back tears the entire time. All of this pain and shame and everything that had in my heart for so long was just pouring out of me. And God he was just holding on to me and telling me how much he loved me and how worthy I was. And I had this sudden feeling that this is where God wanted me to be. I went back to New York, wishing that I could stay, but I knew I couldn't. I continued streaming the services on the first 2 Sundays, and then on the third Sunday, Pastor Bernard was giving the sermon. And in the middle of my living room, I raised my hand for salvation, and I remember my knees just gave out on me, and I just, right on my knees, that was it. I surrender it all. I can't carry this anymore. And I went from being completely alone to suddenly feeling like, okay, I'm not alone. There is a plan. God has a plan, and it's not the situation that I'm in right now, and it's not here. And I felt like he wanted me to make a move to Florida. Immediately after I arrived, it was the complete change. Everyone was just so amazing. And I went from just feeling like it was my daughter and I to just being surrounded by an entire family. None of them were judging me. None of them hated me for the things that I did in my life. They were speaking life and truth over me. One of them actually held my face and said, "You are a miracle." And that was the first time that anyone said something like that to me. I was able to watch my daughter also become a true just Christ follower and someone who just chased after Jesus and just loved him so much. She went from being a kid who occasionally sat down with me in New York to watch the services to just being a spiritual powerhouse and just spiritually mature. I surrendered my pain, my shame, all of the trauma, all the abuse. And he was there all along. I just needed to extend my arms to reach out for his. And realizing that I'm not this orphan, poor girl. I am the daughter of a king.